All right, welcome back everyone to our third part about building a Tableau dashboard from start to finish. In this video, we're going to be going over how to build a donut chart because that's kind of be our first eye-catching chart. And so that's something I usually like to think about is you need to start by first creating a statement to a director or manager of the problem, or if there is a problem. In this case, we're ranking things. So if you recall from our last video, we're going over this data set that's basically ranking how well the stores are converting with their coupon sales. So basically, you could also look at this, how well your ads are converting compared to other stores. So for example, we're looking at store 47. It's actually got a really decent conversion rate. It's ranked 80. From a percentile standpoint, you can think about this from a percentile standpoint. When I say ranked, it's really just a percentile. So it's in the 80th percentile. So it's doing pretty well. Okay, but this right here with this donut chart, you can't really this pie chart, you can't really tell. So we're going to make it into a donut chart, which in order to do so, I've created this calculated function. Oh, hold on, let me just do that. This calculated function, really all it is just it's equal to 1. Tableau, just to make certain things work. Sorry, there it is. See, it's just equal to 1, just to make it work. So what we need to do is create two, basically, pie charts. And then we need to make them dual axis. So this is kind of the key point. Making them dual axis will make them sit on top of each other. So dual axis. So now they're actually both on top of each other. You can't tell right now because they're both the same size and they are both the same color. So let's fix that by first getting rid of this size should not be based on this. Size should not be based on this. Okay, so let's make this other one slightly bigger. So you still can't really tell because it's hidden underneath. Let me change the color of this one. That will make it more obvious. Oh, hold on. Just remove this and then, ooh. Sorry, one other thing. You need to make these both mint so that they're both at the same spot. Not some, but min. Okay, see how it kind of sits on top? Now we're almost there. Let's just change this to be white. And now it kind of looks like a donut chart. Ta-da! So now you have this donut chart. But this still is kind of very hidden in the sense that like we actually don't know what the percentile is. Like it's there, but you can't really tell. And I don't really like that. I want to be able to tell what my donut chart number should be. So we created a calculation, which for the 7-day rank score, we basically created a verbal version of it. So if I were to put this on here as a label, you can see that it's 80. See? So now we've got that inside, just so that we kind of make this look a little nicer. All right, so let's format. Let's go here, some rank score. And from there, we're going to change this to like, let's say 14. And then I like semi-bold. I don't know why. So there we go. Now it's a little more in your face. So I've actually already built 2 of these. So we can kind of see. So one is the conversion ranking and one is kind of the rate. So this is what we kind of do in, just to explain the difference, this is what we kind of do as you're building metrics, is you should have more than one metric for a reason, but they should be complementary. One metric should basically almost counter the other. We kind of call them counter metrics. And in some cases, they're not necessarily always counter, but something that tells a different angle of the story. So it doesn't necessarily always need to be counter, but it needs to at least tell a different part of the story. So for example, this is the conversion ranking. So this is, in general, for all of time, how well, from percentile standpoint, has, in this case, store 25 been converting. And we see it's in the 56th percentile, which isn't great, but not terrible. But we're kind of curious, okay, well, what's the rate? Like, is it increasing? Like in the last 7 days, is it increasing or decreasing? And how does that compare as well? And so we have this rate that's basically doing, or this conversion rate ranking. So it's basically saying, you know, in comparison to the other stores, is it increasing or decreasing? And actually, it is decreasing faster than the other stores. So it's in the 32nd percentile. So it's got a lower rate of change. So that means, which is not good. And I don't mean lower rate of changes in like, but I mean like how positive is the change? Is the change a lot very positive, or is it very negative or closer to negative? So this is actually in the 32nd percentile, which isn't good, right? Because we're already in a decently low percentile here from the conversion ranking. And we're now in a very low rate of change, in the sense that in comparison to the other stores, they're actually doing pretty poorly. So we can probably expect to see that this store will do worse over time. And now we're going to kind of start putting this together, at least these two pieces, because these are going to be the eye-catching pieces, right? These two pieces, this one and this one, are kind of the ones we want our director to see first to kind of state the problem, is what I usually think. And I'll kind of talk through that flow in the next video. But this first kind of portion of this Tableau dashboard is to state the problem, so that people are then inclined to look at the next part of the dashboard. This first part should be pretty high up. It doesn't need to be very specific. It just needs to be like a number, or maybe one or two numbers, maybe three, that just kind of state if there's a problem or not. You know, are you doing well? Or are you doing poorly? And that's kind of what you need to know first. Then you want your director or manager to drill into the why. So first, they need to answer the first question. Is kind of how I like to think about it, is the flow, which is, you know, is there a problem, or how are we doing? That's usually kind of like the first question. And then why are we doing good or bad is kind of the next question I think that you should kind of naturally ask in progression. And after that, it's a little more open-ended. You know, you can kind of develop either a more granular view of your data or not, but that's kind of the general flow. So first is, how are we doing? You know, are we doing bad, or is there a problem? And then if there isn't a problem, then maybe you're curious why there isn't. Maybe you want to see if you're improving. But if there is a problem, you want to see why you are doing poorly, and are there places in your data and in this dashboard we're going to build that we can kind of show where we should fix, or where we should aim our resources, essentially. Because that's what I think about dashboards. Oftentimes it's where do we need to put our resources is oftentimes what dashboards will do. You know, they'll show you where something's wrong or right, and thus where you need to put in resources and effort. So thanks so much, and that's it for this specific video. So this is part 3. In the next one, we're kind of going to put these in their home in the dashboard. So we're going to go over things like containers, but also we're going to start building up some other pieces, talk about the good and the bad of having a lot of pieces on your dashboard, and kind of start putting together, probably there'll be like 2 or 3 more videos, the final dashboard, piece by piece. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.